Okay, so a run is really it's very similar to a walk in the spacing of the keys. We're going to actually add this extra set of keys in here, an 11 and 22 here. So what we get is on 1 and 25 they're exactly the same. The down here is really just going to be a halfway point. This would be 4 and 16, and this would be 7 and 19. Like if we're looking at it as a traditional walk. So we're gonna sort of spread them out in threes, and then in the end we're gonna accelerate the jump to the 13. So you'll see a better example of that when we get into Maya. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open my monster walk and get rid of that test run. So here's our walk. So on frame 1, he's in this walking position. What we want to do is just emulate this image. And we want one leg up, and we want another leg hitting straight. We kind of already have the one leg hitting straight, so I'm just going to pull this up a little bit more. And I'm going to pull this foot up, select those toes, pull them back. Now with the knee here, let's kind of get this going on here. That's frame 1. I'm going to highlight everything. Middle mouse on 25, hit S to set a key. I'm going to go to my frame 4 here. And again, remember, we're sort of kind of bypassing this. So I'm going to right click and delete that key. But on 7, if we look at 7, that's almost emulating my 4 and 16 here. Okay? So what I'm going to do at this point is hold down the shift key, click on 7. Notice that I still have all of these circles selected. So by holding shift and left clicking, you'll get this little red cursor, and you'll get these arrows on the inside. I'm going to just move this back to 4. So we get a quick change. So here's 1 to 4. Let's look at what our 7 and 19 look like. So 1 to 4. And what we're getting is this back leg here on 7. I start to go up on my toes. I'm going to rotate this down. Pull this up. Pull these hips up. So we get this. Now, if we had an actual toe, like bendable toe in there, it would make it look a lot better. So here's 13 where he plants. Now the frame we're missing is 11 here. And on 11, let's see if we can take a look at the one I did in Photoshop. In 11 here, we have where he leaves the ground. So that would require us, so in 7 he's here. What I'm going to do is highlight all of this, middle mouse on 11 and set a key so that we're recording all of those keys. And I'm going to pull him even further in the air, just a little bit higher than where he was. That's going to require me to select all of these rings here. Just kind of pull him up a little bit. I'm going to pull his leg way back. Get him in the air. And if you look at it, what I'm doing is on 11, let's write over that file I keep opening up. Okay. On 11, he's getting ready to place that foot, so that leg goes into a curve there. Knee comes up, he's getting ready to plant, and then on 13 he plants. Right? But if you remember, he's into this kind of, he's in the same pose as 1, just the inverse. So here's 1. Right? So let's make sure that 13 isn't off by much. So let's pull him up and then forward. We can do the same thing for this leg here. Flip between 1 and 13. Doesn't look that far off. So we get this. And he's going back in position on 11. We don't want that. So I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to go to 7, middle mouse on 11 and set a key so that it holds that position. It might have keyed everything. Let's just reanimate that pose. So, and really that's just his leg back here, and his foot forward. Hips are much higher up because he's off the ground here. We want to do the same thing with his hands. And again, we're just looking at it before he plants at this point. Got a nice rotation in his foot. So let's look at that. Here's 1, 4, 7. He's up on his toes. And what I'm going to do here is seven, he's here. 11, he shifts back. I really want to make sure that he's kind of staying in that same area. Come forward. Just trying to get 7 and 11 to line up in respective position. So he leaps in the air, comes down on 13. Let's play that. We might have to add another in between here to really kind of like on 9 or something to kind of really smooth that out because he's really disjointed. And again, we haven't gone into the graph editor or anything and really cleaned this up. Alright, so here's 1. Let's go to 4. Let's look at 4 and let's look at 16. Now remember, our 16 is our 19 here. So I'm just going to go here, click, highlight everything, hold Shift and click, right click, delete. Shift click here, move this back to 16, right? So we got this going on. He leaps, lands on 13. You know what we can do too is just to kind of, we can shift this back to maybe 10. See how that looks. It's kind of bothering me how quickly he lands. Boom. There we go. 16. Then we know on 16, 7, and 19 that foot is coming back and the front foot is pulling off the ground. That foot is really back. His toe is down at this point because he's really preparing himself to leap, for liftoff. That foot is really forward here because he's getting ready to become airborne. So boom, he's sliding, he gets that foot up, and then our big leap on 22. Alright, so let's go to 22. He's really off the ground at this point. Let's grab these hands too. The highest he is. Let's get the feet up as well. And his foot is here, getting ready to plant on 25. Boom. Alright, so let's take a look at this run. You can see on 7 and 16 we're getting a little our jumpiness, and that really has to do with us leveling out our heights. See how he's on 1 and 4, right, which is 7. He's going from down here up here, and then he doesn't really go up much on 9. So we really want to kind of find an in-between between those two. So on 7, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to start to take him off the ground a little bit higher, a little earlier. So it's not such a slow, like it doesn't leap as much. So let's watch that. Okay, so we get this. Pull him up a little higher. Falls hard on 13. 16 is there. Almost no upward movement on 16. Same thing here. I'm going to pull him up. And he leaps in the air and lands. Let's watch that. A little bit better. He's slow to make that snap. That's okay. Again, remember, we're doing this to completion, And there's actually another video that I did. It's using the Morpheus rig on how to do better run, more complete run. I'm actually going to replace it when we do more of an advanced rig with hand controllers and such. Alright, so let's just go ahead and hit File, Save Scene As again. And I'm going to make sure that I name this Monster at Run. And generally you should do that at the very beginning. I'm going to hit Save and Continue. And just for the sake of time, we're going to just do the jump in this video as well. So I'm going to go to File, Open Scene, Monster, Open, and we can just save it again, it's okay. Alright, now for our jump, you don't move this up and down at all. Really, all you're doing is you're moving the limbs because we're going to let the game engine control the leaping. So, same as before, show camera, show joints, select all these guys. On frame 1, you set a key, which is him in his neutral position. 24, I'm going to set a key. On 13, all I'm going to do is bring his feet up and forward, and maybe bring his hands up, forward like this. Does this kind of monster jump thing. I'll bring his arms way up. Looks like I need to do a little bit of cleaning in that skinning area, but it's kind of late for that. I'll do something like this where he's looking down. I'm going to name this file, Save Scene As, Monster at Jump. Save that. And so let's watch it. That's his jump. Okay, in the next video we're going to take a look at bringing it all into Unity, the game engine.